Spring is here and wet roads are back. So today we're going to put some fenders on this Neutrino. I'd been wanting to set up the Neutrino with fenders for a while. It's currently set up with studded tires for the winter. They really extended my riding season and made this bike a lot of fun during the colder months. It's set up as a basket packer so I could carry a little bit more gear for the cold, dark days. Shout out to my friends down in Pennsylvania. You guys are the best. It's still a work in progress, but I'm trying hard to give it some personality. As if it didn't have enough already. I finally managed to get myself a set of these Velo orange fenders. I was super excited, not just because I wanted a dry butt, but also I love getting quality parts. Inspired by tradition, built for today. I really like this. Since it's getting warmer, I'm not going to need these studded tires anymore. So let's do the tire swap first. In hindsight, I probably should have taken this basket off first. I've got two options for tires. These 2.4 tan walls, or these Maxxis 2.2 Holy Rollers. I think I'm going to use the Holy Rollers because they're a little more grippy and I plan to do some muddy riding early in the season. This Neutrino has already had a pretty interesting life so far. It's been on a float plane, it's been on an epic quest across British Columbia through the mountains. This thing's been set up, fixed gear. It's actually an old trailer with barbecue on it. It's being stuffed in a duffel bag, shipped across Canada. But those aren't really my stories to tell. Maybe sometime? Let's see what came with these fenders. These are some of the best instructions I've ever seen. Could have done that better. If you can't tell, I loved Lego as a kid. Who am I kidding? I still do. Just assembling some of the parts before I put it all together. Make sure I have everything. Sometimes I store my extra hardware in whatever spot is available, just in case I need it somewhere down the road. We'll have to remove this one. Something really interesting about the Neutrino is the addition of this mount to the fork. Normally what would happen is you take this piece, you slide it inside, and then you would put a bolt through it in order to secure it into place, and then you'd attach the fender to that. But in this case, we don't even have to use this piece. We can actually just slot this in with another screw and attach the fender that way, which is honestly pretty great. I don't know which hole we're going to use yet, but we'll figure it out. What a cool angle. So I've gone ahead and pushed that through, and I'm going to just install this one quickly before I put it all into place. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm keeping everything really loose at this point because there's definitely going to be some adjustment to be made as we go. Because I already have the fork mounting point, I'm just going to use a regular M5 bolt. Thankfully we had an extra one here. So I'm going to put that through the fender itself and with the little leather washer. And personally I like to put a little bit of Loctite on these things because they have a tendency to come loose no matter what. So we'll put a little bit of Loctite. This one is almost empty until I use it a lot. And then we'll put it into place. Oh, it would really help if I grab the right Allen key first. Turns out I had it in my pocket the whole time. All right, take two. And I'm putting it in the back one because I'm assuming that's the best position. And this guy too. Gotta be very careful. Fenders are so easy to scratch and dent. Not that it's going to matter because I'm going to scratch and probably dent them anyway. So now I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to slide them through. Just kind of, how's that? Okay. Okay, so it turns out that the forward position is actually the better one. I tried putting the tire into place and it just didn't work. So let's give that another go. I'm going to put it into place. Probably be easier if I took the quick release out, but you know how it is. There we go. Much better. So now I'm just going to tighten this down little bit by little bit to try to get everything lined up and straight. It's always a bit of a challenge with fenders, but we'll get there slowly. I had to do a couple little micro adjustments here so that the fender lined up evenly on either side. I just love this. Still got to tighten those up, mind you. I'm only going to take the tire off. I've got different ones, not 10 millimeter. I'm going to mark these now for future reference. I am going to leave them a little bit longer in case I've made a grave mistake. One thing to note is that before I make any final cuts and adjustments, I want to make sure that the bike is on the ground with the tire properly seated. That way I won't have any irregularities with the tire position. Alright. Try this again. There we go. There we go. So even with it all kind of in place, I noticed that the spacing here is not really great. So I'm going to have to add some spacers just to bring that back a little bit. And after I do that, I'm going to have to center this hole and drill it. I'm also don't like the way these sit. If I go up top, I'll run into the brake caliper. So I think I'm going to have to space those out a little bit as well. Let's see how this goes. Another thing I'm happy to see in the instructions is it talks about using these little Presta valve lock nuts as spacers. I use these all the time, especially when I'm mounting racks and fenders. So I'm really happy to see that they included that in the instructions. And I've got a couple extra ones that I'm going to use to space it out. This little guy. All right, that's not too bad for now. There we go. It's a bit better. Let's hope. So I'm still not happy with the spacing here, so I'm going to add another one of these little guys. And that should position the fender over the tire a little more evenly. Almost as if he knew, my dog seemed to be trying to point out that I was missing something critically obvious. Hey, don't forget, you've got sliding dropouts. Though he probably just wanted lunch. I'll take it as a sign. Oh, those are in there good. Let's be careful. Oh, wow, those are tight. I mean, yeah, you don't want them to move, but... Oh, wow. Oh, there we go. Let's try this again. So because these tires aren't 2.4 or something wider, I will have a little bit of a gap here and I'd like them to sit a lot more flush. So I think I'm gonna make a spacer. That way if I put on bigger tires in the future, I still have some clearance to play with. I've got these early 2000 cable guide bushings. I think I just need to grind this down and I can make a proper standoff. For the bench grinder, I'm not going to use my fingers close to it. It'll get too hot, so I'm going to use this old Allen key to help me not hurt my fingers. Don't worry, it's not one of my standard Allen keys. It's just one of the old IKEA ones that we all have a million of sitting in our drawers. I'm gonna have to drill a hole here in order to mount this fender properly. What I did is I screwed in a bolt ahead of time just so that I could see where it hits and make a little bit of a mark where I want it. Still see through it. So I think the standoff turned out pretty well, and it doesn't look particularly out of place. I'm just going to put the rest of the stuff back together and start to do the final touches. That sound was the brake caliper. I'm going to have to adjust that a little bit. I already got carried away with it. Guess I'll have to be more careful with the wheelies. I'm not going to cut these yet. I think I'm going to ride around with it first to make sure the position is exactly the way I want it before committing. It's the same reason I'm not trimming the stem yet. I've added the Presta valve washer there, but once I cut these off, I probably won't need it. So the good thing is we have a bunch of parts left over that we can use on other builds if needed. These right here, I'm pretty sure are just doublers, so if I ever damage the fender, I can stick this one in there if the hole gets elongated, and I can use this. Nice to have. And this will also be good for future use. This bike looks drastically different with the new fenders, and it's definitely something I'm going to have to get used to. But the first time I come back with a dry butt, I'm sure it'll all make sense. So this bike is relatively new to me, but even still, I've made efforts to make it my own. I'm working with it slowly to make sure that I make all the right adjustments. But that comes with time. I have big plans for this bike. In the near future, it's going to be a trail clearing bike, but that might need a different rack. It's going to be my travel bike. I just got back from a trip where I wasn't able to take a bike, and I ended up riding the city bikes and rental bikes, and I really enjoyed it. But this is my chance to actually take a bike with me, and I'm really excited about that. I do plan to go to Japan later this spring, so let's hope this takes me there. A little cold coffee from the international section. Oh, so good. So I really hope that I didn't make that look too easy. It's not my first Fender install, but even still, it's almost like the first time every time. I could have just edited out all of the, the setbacks and make it look like a smooth install. But I don't think that would be helpful. So instead, I just showed you how it went. Even as an experienced mechanic, sometimes I can overlook the obvious. But instead of getting frustrated with it, I can accept that. It makes me human. And I think that's the point.